Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Love and Truth podcast. I am James, and this is
Lanae.
And we're so excited to be back with you again. It's been a minute, but we're back in the stew, cooking up some really, really good stuff. And I'm excited about today's session because today we're talking about healing while dating and the things that we don't say. And so we want to unpack that a little bit today and just really get into healing while dating.
I'm excited about the whole title.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear how we're about to kind of go back and forth about this.
Yeah, because the dating scene today, for those that are in the dating scene, obviously we're married, but something, and we got to catch everybody up because a lot has happened in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
We took a little break, took a little time off, to kind of recalibrate, regroup, revision, in terms of where we were going.
Yeah.
With our podcast, with your transformation coaching that you launched, and just the lives that we were doing. And so we're just excited about getting back in the studio and kicking off this Love and Truth podcast episode. So,
because I took a for real break. I took a break from social media. Like I when I say I cut it off, I cut it off. But I'm back now.
So why'd you pull back? Like what was going on?
Well,
because you were going. I mean,
I was,
and a lot of people were really tapping in on your TikTok lives. You were going Monday through Friday. And so kind of what was going on?
Well, what happened was we went on, me and my community, a few of us went on a, as you did with me, we went on a 40-day fast. And during that 40-day fast, I just cut off the social media. I thought that I was going to be able to stay on a little bit, but that's not how it worked out. And so I can honestly say I recalibrated. And a lot of great things happened during that fast and that are continuously happening from that. But that's what happened with me where, I went MIA.
Yeah. And, one of our, we do an anniversary, a retreat, and we're going to get to the dating thing, but we're just trying to get y'all caught up on where we've been.
Yeah.
And we talked about just alignment. And so one of the things that we talked about was connection and establishment. That was a declaration that we would state at our church home. This is the year of connection and establishment,
and our declaration shall marry the two.
And from that fast, we've spoken at an AI event. I was one of the featured speakers talking about AI and leadership. We did our podcast live at the event, so made some real strong connections. Also, during that time, we were asked. Can I say this now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were asked to launch a singles ministry at our church, Order Restoration Church, with Apostle Charles E. Perry Jr. And so this topic is really, really relevant.
Yes.
Because we're
Very
launching,
relevant.
we're launching that singles ministry on June the 5th, 7 p.m. at Order Restoration Church. And so we're just excited about it. We've been preparing for it. We've been praying about it. And so this topic just kind of came up in our conversation, in our prayer time. Are people really healing while dating? And then what are the things that people just don't want to say while dating?
There are a lot of things that people don't want to say because nowadays people don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be vulnerable because that means it taps into that unhealed place. And most people are not going to, even if they haven't gone to therapy and they haven't done any internal work, they're not going to open themselves up to talk about any part of their lives that is traumatized.
Right.
And God forbid they be open and say what really happened to them so that the other person knows what they're dealing with.
So, and sometimes the conversations get reduced down to, are you ready or not? Are you
Mm-hmm.
ready for a relationship? Or you're not ready for a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really the whole question, right? That's not the whole question, because really the question is, are you ready to be honest about where you are in your life, your singleness, your dating? Because you can be in a dating season and still carrying like pain,
Right.
still carrying hurt.
Yes.
So
So are you asking me a question right now?
no, I'm just making a statement. We're having a conversation. No, I'm just
Well,
saying
you
this.
you paused like you wanted to
I
pull
thought you
something
were
from me.
no, I thought you were pulling. I thought you were about to say something. So just if you
Well, I can say this.
please.
I wonder why people want to get into a relationship when they know they are not healed. I wonder why people want to get into relationships when they know they're not ready for a relationship. I wonder why people get into relationships when they know they don't know how to be and are not planning on being monogamous.
Mm.
I wonder why people get into relationships when they know that as a man, I don't really like women because I'm mad at my mom. And I wonder why men want to get in, women want to get in a relationship when they like, my dad hurt me. But you want to be in a relationship.
Mhm.
And I just think that it's unfair.
So are you saying that people sometimes get into a relationship and they haven't really, you know, opened up about where they really are? There's still some hidden things that
Absolutely.
they're covering up because, they don't want to be vulnerable, and sometimes people end up emotionally investing in someone, not
Yeah.
realizing that that person is not the real person. That
Mm.
person is someone that's still, you know, broken.
Right.
And do you think that people are dating out of dating from healing, or dating for healing, or are they dating from a hunger or desire to meet some type of other need?
I don't, personally, I don't think that people date to heal. I don't know anybody that says I want to go into a relationship seeking healing.
They probably aren't saying
But
that.
what I just it's hard for me to even grasp that concept for somebody to go into a relationship because I want to be healed.
Okay, so let me ask you this,
Okay.
because you've heard the expression, the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. So that's the mindset, that I'm trying to go into something to get over,
Well, that's
or
a
to be.
terrible mindset.
I know, but let's talk about it. It's a real one, though. Let's not
I
dismiss
I
it. I mean, people
I know.
think like that. They
No,
think,
I
let me
know.
just hurry up and get into, so I can forget about someone else.
Mhm.
Um, because they feel like, let me just forget about them and put all my attention into somebody else.
So here's wherein lies the problem. Now, I have not taken the time to reflect on, is there anything that I did in the relationship that caused some issues? So now there's no time to heal. So now I have some more things that are in my luggage,
Hmm.
right? And I'm going to take that luggage into a relationship with you now. And so you said, are people dating from dating to heal,
Right, right, right.
or is it a place of hunger?
They're
Right?
desiring something.
Right. So people want some relief. I just want to look normal, feel normal, but it's not gonna be normal when you haven't dealt with the real issues at hand.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really selfish.
Why?
Can I say this? I think it's selfish to want to date when your life is not together,
Hmm.
because you're pulling another person into your chaos. And the other danger in that is that that person probably didn't ask enough questions. And
Hmm.
this is what I know to be true. When people are dating, for some strange reason, we do not ask the right questions and a lot of questions. We just ask the basic.
Hmm.
And then we begin to feel like, well, I don't want them to feel like I'm interrogating them. No, it's an interview, it's an interrogation, it's all of that. Because I really need to know who I am getting myself, who am I bringing into my world?
Hmm.
And most of the time, if I'm not healed, I will go and grab a person that's not healed because we reflect.
Yeah.
I'm staring at the man in the mirror when I look at you. And if I'm open to something such as if I'm traumatized by something, I'm normally going to go meet somebody that's traumatized. And now we have two traumatized people.
Yeah. And so, but you can still you can still be a good person and just not all the way emotionally available in a relationship. You're trying to process through that. So I don't think, dating for healing, but people are trying to work through whatever emotions that they're working through. So you've seen a lot of people that have generally good hearts, but they just haven't unpacked a lot of the emotional baggage from their prior relationship, childhood traumas, or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes it difficult, I believe, is in this culture today, when you say that you're ready to date, everyone just accepts it.
Yeah.
When you say, girl, I'm ready now. Girl, you need to hurry up, get out there, start dating, seeing other people, and no one's really saying, well, how are you really feeling? Where are you really at? Where are you really hurt?
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are every single person should make sure that you've recovered from whatever that is that you know that hurts you, whatever insecurity, whatever inadequacy, whatever those wounds are. And God forbid you don't trust people.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make sure that all of those things that you know that weigh you down, they're not present.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it is selfish. Listen to me closely. I believe it's very selfish when we have not taken care of our mental, because this is what we do. We make sure that our physical appearance is together. It's not a hair out of place. Men, you manicured. Women, we have our nails done, toes done.
Yeah.
We have our attire on, and it's a total sad thing whenever your body looks together, but your mental is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we need to dress up our mental first before we even try to do all of this, because I think when we don't do those things, we end up, you're a good person,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But what you've hidden shows that you're really not a good person,
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to come out. It's going to come
Well,
out.
I don't know if they're not a good person. It's just not a healed person. Like you can be a good person and just. I'll give you an example. So, of course, we're both on our second marriages.
Mm-hmm.
My pre-marriage dating was one way. Um, and I'll say this: you've heard that expression, good guys finish last, or girls like certain
Bad
bad boys,
boys.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
so in my 20s dating, just hearing that, trying to be a good guy, trying to do the right thing, and you keep hearing this whole idea that girls like bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be a soldier, you know, D-boy, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And but you're hearing that, and so I sort of adopted this mindset that, well, you know what? Don't nobody want no nice guy. You can't be a nice guy and really date, because you get taken advantage of. You get taken for granted. This is how guys are thinking. You're being taken for granted. They're trying to run game. It's all about what you can do for them, and it's not about you. So you have to put on a certain persona. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to, but a lot of guys put on a persona because of the climate, the culture, the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I went through a period where it was like, you know what? I'm just, I'm gonna act like these other dudes act, because clearly that's what you want,
Hmm.
or that's what it's felt like. Clearly, you want some dude to be, have a little edge or whatever the case may be. So now you have to put on this whole persona.
Mm.
Right. And then you can flip that too, right? And it's like guys, they, they want a woman that's got a little edge to. They don't want, out of the box vanilla. They want the woman to have a little. I'm not gonna say what they say, but
Okay.
um,
So you have some people dating, they want to date for connection, and you have some that want to date for comfort.
yeah,
That's basically
connection, chemistry, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll say this, and then you can comment. So I go into my first marriage with that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Unhealed, wasn't going through any therapy,
Mm-hmm.
didn't unpack any of that stuff
Yeah.
that I picked up dating in my 20s. So now I'm in my 30s, and anything that felt like I was being taken for granted, not really treated with the level of respect that I felt like I was due
Yeah.
in any shape or form, that sometimes caused me to revert back to that same mindset where I was in my 20s. I'm like, you know what? That's cool.
I'm just hearing, this is why God tells us to forget the former things. And he tells us to forget the former things. You know why? Because we will take what happened in our last relationship, and knowing that we still have some trust issues, we make a conscious decision, deliberate, intentional. Oh, I want to be in a relationship because I just want to be in a relationship. Because we're looking at social media, we're looking at other people, and we're looking at the good parts of their relationship. And they may have healthy relationships, but I'm not whole. So now, because I want that comfort of being in a relationship, because I need some relief, I want to feel normal, look normal, but I know I have something going on.
Right.
So now I pull everything to this relationship. And the first time you do something, because I already have a trust issue because this last dude cheated on me. And so now here we are. And then you're like, man, what's going on with you? See, because I didn't reveal to you all of the stuff that he did to me, because I don't want to reveal to you that I really have trust issues, because you probably wouldn't even fool with me. So this is where the deception comes in, when we're not healed. And when the other party doesn't ask the right questions, then you end up getting caught up. And now you feel like you're deceived because I didn't reveal something to you. Well, you didn't ask a lot of questions.
And you know what? And it goes both ways. You remember the movie Hitch with Will Smith?
Yeah.
And it did a flashback when he was in college, and he was kind of nerdy, and he liked this girl, and he told her that he loved her early in the relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he was just expressing himself, expressing his emotions, saying how he felt, and then it got flipped on him, and then she was in the car with another dude, and a lot of guys don't admit that they were heartbroken, or the heart was broken by a female. It could have been in middle school. It could have been Keisha in the 7th grade that broke him. And then from that point on, he's like,
stop using my best friend's name.
oh,
Everybody want to use Keisha.
But didn't nobody know she was your best friend until you just said it.
Well, she is.
So sometimes guys are operating out of that hurt or pain that they've never really dealt with, and they're taking that from relationship to relationship. And so when we talk about dating, healing while dating, and then the things that we don't say, oftentimes men won't say what hurt them, what disappointed them.
Why don't they?
Because of what I just said. Often, most of the time, that it's flipped on them, and it shows a sign of weakness.
Okay.
Because you're being sensitive, and you're being not emotional, but you're expressing how you feel. You know what? Men get cheated on too. Clearly, because look, it's
Yeah.
not just men cheating. This thing goes
It
both
goes both
ways.
ways. It goes both
And
ways.
some say women do it better
I've heard.
than men.
I've heard.
So you know, oftentimes men don't want to express that vulnerability, and so they have this hard exterior. And then as you get older, and if you haven't unpacked that, now you're carrying all of this on
Mm.
with you in future relationships,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I talked about before I got married. Now I'm taking this into my marriage, and all of those behaviors, destructive behaviors and characteristics are still there because I never dealt with them. I never unpacked them. I never confronted how I felt when certain things happened. And so, you know, I already said it ended up in divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, after 12, 13 years of marriage, now I'm single again. And it's totally different. Now I'm single as a
Yeah.
40-year-old man. Now I'm in my 40s. Before I was single in my 20s. Now I'm single in my 40s, and it's different.
It looks a lot different.
It looks a lot different. And having to start over and try to figure out how to really navigate being single.
Mm.
So yeah,
Mhm.
it was tough. So let me ask you this: Do you think that married individuals or couples can help singles?
Yes.
Why?
I I know that married people can help singles because you were once single first. The second thing is you can take all of your bad experiences and let that single person know what you did so that they don't make the same mistakes.
Right.
Then I think that married people can also help single people in any questions that they have along the way to get to where we are.
Mm,
Because for every person that's single doesn't want to be married, but for those that do, they're able to gain wisdom from us.
yeah. Do you think that, because as we're about to launch this singles ministry and we've
Mhm.
had some questions come up,
Yeah.
it seems like singles, and this is what we're going to be really unpacking as we launch the ministry. So definitely, if you're available, 7 p.m., June the 5th, it's a Friday night. We're having our launch at Word of Restoration Ministries in Rosharon. Definitely come out. It's going to be an excellent. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
And I don't want to forget to say this because you were talking about it earlier. Please go register at woric.org. And we say to register because we want to be able to have enough space for everybody to be comfortable. And also, we want to be able to feed you. So definitely go on woric.org and register today for the event. And we would love to see you. And it's not going to be your usual singles ministry. We are going to dive into some things and talk like we're talking now. So come on out and join us.
Yeah.
So the other question you were asking.
I was saying about like the married couples.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes the singles are sort of left on the side to kind of figure it out, and they get pressed. Well, when you gonna get married? When you gonna have kids? Well, you need to settle down, and it's always this pressure to achieve something,
Yeah.
but it's never really a conversation about, hey, how are you doing?
Hmm.
How are you, navigating your single life? And it's
Yeah.
almost like a judgment, like if you're single, something's wrong.
Yeah.
If you're
I hear that a
40,
lot
you know what I mean? If you're
for
40
people.
and you're not married yet, your family, when you gonna give me some grandbabies? You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just this pressure
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to really understanding, where they are in the singleness. So
Mm-hmm.
I think as married couples, the one thing we can do is to not press or judge or question, well, why are you still single?
Right.
No, they're still single because they're single.
Mm-hmm.
We should be really figuring out, okay, how are you doing? Um, you know, how can we support? How can we help? and encourage them.
So that's what we're going to be doing for the people that need to know, well, why are you guys married and over the singles ministry? And I just say, God says, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Shall
Yeah.
you not know it? Because God is a God of strategy.
Yeah.
So this is a different strategy, because now the way that I see it, here I am as a woman that I can relate to the women, and I can also give men a different perspective.
Right.
And then here you are, a man, and then it's not just me over men and women. It is not just you over men and women. We're together and we're able to walk alongside of them and give them different perspectives, as you are women are able to hear a different perspective.
And being able to open up too.
Yeah.
Because I think, I forgot where we were somewhere, and it was some singles there, and it was either a gathering or an event, and one of the singles was making a comment about the dating. And one of the things that married couples forget about is how to date.
Mm.
Right. So singles can also help married couples rekindle some things and show them what that looks like and feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really good.
And that's, how do you learn from each other? And so I know we're talking about, healing while dating, and then what are some of the things that people don't say when they're dating? And we're going to unpack a lot of that, not just in one setting or one session, but just throughout the entire singles ministry. And I want to ask you this too. How can someone that's in their 40s single help someone that's in their 20s single and dating, as it relates to the topic that we're discussing?
Well, we all have our experiences that we can share. And I always say, telling people what you did wrong and how you got off course, so that they don't have to do that, or to help them even course correct. Obviously, that it's that's life, as somebody that's experienced something that you have or haven't. And so I just think that helping people to get it right.
Yeah.
So somebody in their 40s talking to somebody in their 20s, hey, just do this, but don't do that. I went down this street. If you go down there, I made it out, but you might not make it out, because times are different now.
Yeah. And you know what I think is good too is asking questions, because what they're dealing with in their 20s probably is not the same as what you dealt with 20 years prior.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like trying to understand, hey, what are your pressures? What are your challenges? What are you struggling with? Social media. We didn't have social media when we were growing up in our 20s. We didn't have social media. We didn't really have the internet. It was just popping off. I think MySpace hit off somewhere in the 90s, early 2000s or whatever. But now it's just they're dealing with different challenges. And so I think someone that's in their 40s or older, and I always say this, ONs, stop pressing these YNs and judging them on how they're living and the music they listen to and how they're dancing, and try to understand where they are coming from. And when we talk about what people don't say, one thing about some of the ONs is that y'all don't really give them the truth about what you went through and what really happened. So when we talk about things that we don't say, part of the issue is that we don't tell them what we really, really, really went through.
That's good.
I was listening to this comedian. It was just on Instagram, and she was saying that she did not know that her mom almost died giving birth to her. Mom never told her this. And she's like, well, Mom, why didn't you ever tell me? She said, I figured you'd find out when you got older. So I got, just like,
Yeah.
and that's sometimes what happens. Our older generation, they hid so many family secrets.
Because they were taught.
They were
They were taught. They were
let's
taught to do that.
but let's just stay with it though. They hid them,
Yeah.
right? And they didn't, taught or not taught, they did, and they did not share molestation, sexual assault,
Mm-mm.
family members,
Yeah.
And here you have your children's children going through things because you never said anything
Yeah.
so that they knew what to look for.
Yeah. And it's terrible. And this is probably why some of us have a difficult time dating.
Yeah.
Because of our upbringing. And I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
Because I grew up not trusting people, yet here I am wanting to have a relationship with somebody. Well, see, that's selfish. That's not fair. Because I know that I don't really trust people. Well, then why you want to get in a relationship? Because I want to seem normal. Because I want to just
seem normal to who?
To myself.
Okay.
Because things have happened and I really hadn't at the time been able to open up and really share some really deep wounds, and I had some scars. I was bleeding out, all of that. But just I wanted the comfort and relief of just, okay, I want to be in a relationship and I want it to be healthy. But when you're not whole, your relationship's not going to be healthy.
Right.
It's going to be some side effects of you not being honest.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of side effects.
You want a relationship, but you're afraid of commitment.
Yes. And the thing you fear most will come up on you. Well, I don't trust people. So since I don't trust you, or what may happen, you might cheat on me. So now I'm walking around and I'm always suspicious of you doing something because I don't trust. Then here goes, because I have that fear. Now, guess what comes up on me? You cheat on me.
So, but let's go back for a second. So you have that, and this is hypothetical, right?
Yeah.
So, or it could be real. It could be real too. But you have that I don't trust DNA in you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you're dating. And you don't tell the person that you're dating why you have this lack of trust. You don't share what's happened. You don't share what you've been through. You don't share the hurt and the pain and what the other, but you're carrying that into the relationship, that trauma, that pain, but you're not vulnerable enough to say, "Hey, I just want," because you don't want to scare him off.
Right, that part.
So you don't want to scare him or her off.
Yeah.
So you withhold certain pieces of information that is triggering to you. But they won't know that it's a trigger, and you're going off on something and they have no idea why.
It's that part of you that is selfish.
I mean, you keep saying selfish, but it's hurt. Because
yes, but it's being but listen, it's still rooted in selfishness. Because if I know, listen to me.
Okay, go ahead.
If I know that I have some stuff going on in me,
right,
and it is selfish that if I'm grieving my last relationship and you don't know I'm grieving it because it's not spoken. That is selfish to get in a relationship with you knowing I'm in love with this person I was with. That's selfish.
Listen, that's a different topic. You still love, hold on, time out. That's a different, if you still love somebody, then you shouldn't be. But what I'm saying though is that there is definitely something in not sharing certain information that's rooted in self-preservation.
Okay.
It's self-preservation. And I think that's slightly different than you just a selfish person. And I'm saying that
it's a selfish act.
It's a selfish act. But that doesn't make the person as a whole selfish. They're just processing pain, or they're not processing it. And sometimes they don't know how to do that. All I'm saying is that sowing that grace to say, let's just open up, because I don't want to label somebody as being selfish. Maybe they're just hurt. Maybe they just have this pain that they don't know how to deal with. Maybe they just don't understand. They don't understand what's rooted in the feelings that they have. And all we're saying is that healing while dating and the things that you don't say eventually hurts both parties. I think we can agree with that.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I still say there's a level of selfishness.
It's your opinion. That's your side.
I
That's your
it,
mic, and you
it,
can say whatever you want to say on it.
because I'm trying to understand, why wouldn't you think it's selfish?
Because I believe that people have to go through a process of healing, and sometimes they may be operating out of a pain that they don't really recognize or see. That's why therapy is important. That's why counseling is important. That's why people need to, prayer is important. And until you go through that, then how are they going to really know?
The
Because
heart knows itself. If you're
you
grieving you listen.
you are
Okay. So real
talking
quick,
from
listen.
this.
Okay, wait a minute, real quick. Things people carry into dating that they almost never say out loud. I'm
Uh,
still grieving my last relationship.
uh-huh.
I am afraid to trust again. I like having attention from multiple people. I want marriage, but I am scared of commitment. These are things that people are saying that they don't speak out loud. There is something, if you know that, I'm saying that it is selfish.
Okay.
Okay. We can go on to the next subject, because
No, wait.
I'm talking.
Because
Wait a minute. I am not emotionally available right
uh-huh.
now. These are other things,
Right.
right? That people don't say out loud, but
Uh-huh.
you know it. I am not healed from betrayal. I want the benefits of a relationship without the full responsibility. I'm dating because I don't want to be alone. I'm not sure that I even want to be monogamous. I say I want marriage, but I haven't actually counted the cost. Now,
Okay.
my conversation piece in my head is that, but I'm not saying it out loud. It is
Yeah.
selfish to have these things going on that you haven't dealt with, and you want to pull somebody into your world knowing that you have those issues. That is selfish.
Okay. So what if there's not or has not been a safe space to be even able to communicate that? If
It's their responsibility to go
not
to seek help.
no, okay. So time on that.
To
You
talk to
switched that.
some no to talk to somebody,
Ah,
because you got the issue going on. You got it going on.
okay.
I'm not gonna let this go.
I know, but I want you to think.
I'm
I
thinking.
want you to think about it.
Okay. I'm listening.
Listen, you are one of a few fortunate ones that a safe space was created to be open, as am I.
Yeah.
I never felt safe saying certain things in prior relationships for all of the reasons, not all of them, but certainly some of the common reasons. I didn't feel safe saying certain things. It wasn't until we created a safe space to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I was, and I'm gonna go back here. From the time that I got a divorce to the time that we were married, it's about 5, 6, 7 years. And so I had to unpack a lot of stuff. And I went through counseling and therapy for me, not for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize, okay, what was some of the driving, um, what the root of some of the behavior or decisions that I made growing up in my 20s and 30s and early 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I had to I was doing that, but not everybody does that. And even in that, when I was dating, I didn't share any of that. I didn't feel safe because I felt like that would be you. So I went along, dated, I gave as much as I felt like I needed to. Um, and that was it. I just gave, hey,
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
give you, just
Just enough.
just enough to
Those
keep
little
everything
breadcrumbs.
copacetic. Yeah. I wasn't about to just
So the question was asked of us, how can two married people be over the singles
hmm
when we don't have the same struggles? This is a prime example
hmm
of, and let's do this. Let's remove the label marriage. Let's
right.
remove the label, single. Let's talk about struggles. There were some struggles that I had before I got married. So I can relate to other single people.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if they are wanting to get married, now I have another experience. My experience was I got into my first marriage based upon selfishness from me because I entered into that out of a competitive nature.
Mm-hmm.
I've been abandoned. I've been rejected. Now I'm seeing some signs right here, but I'm going to press into this person because I don't want to feel like that.
Right.
That was me not being healed. So when single people say, y'all, you don't have the same struggles. No, we might not be having the same struggle at this moment, and struggles are going to always be different. But I had a struggle.
Right.
And then another thing, and I just kind of, because I really want to talk about this, because as we head this ministry, and as we walk along side people, I want them to know our arms are locked with them. This is not we're talking down to singles. This is no, we're walking alongside you.
Right.
But let's say this: we can be married, and I can still feel single.
Mm.
Okay, so while the single
what does that look
person,
like? What does that look like?
because you're not even at home.
Hold on, we're talking about, but describe it. Is that loneliness? I mean, just
Yes,
give me
I'm
the
lonely.
words. Give me the
Okay,
words. Give me the word.
I'm lonely. I'm sad. I'm unfulfilled. I feel incomplete.
Empty.
Yeah, all of that.
But you're in a relationship.
But I'm in a relationship.
Right. So those emotions, listen, those are human emotions.
Yeah.
Right. Those aren't just emotions for single people. There's a lot of married people out here that feel lonely,
Yes,
unappreciated, not valued, empty, unfulfilled. All of those same emotions are happening in relationships today. So that's why when we're talking about the singles collective ministry, we're talking about making sure that people are whole within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we're very passionate about, being healed,
right,
and whole. So, but anyway,
yes.
go ahead.
Yes, no. That's all. That's all.
So,
you had another question that was really good.
no, one of the I'm gonna ask this one because, because you stayed on the selfish. The person is selfish.
Yeah.
So when you are dating, because we're talking about healing or healed while dating, healing while dating, right?
Right. The things we don't say.
The things we don't say. So is it the responsibility of the individual to just share transparently everything?
No.
Or is it the responsibility of the individual to ask questions to get to know? Because some people won't just disclose things, but if you ask them, they'll be honest and transparent. So,
Right.
where do you think the weight lies?
I think that there should be a mutual. It should be mutual, and I say that because it's sitting down. If you and I are getting to know each other first, I want to make sure that I'm whole. I know what I'm going to accept and what I'm not going to accept.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
from an
set your boundaries. You
individual,
know.
they are established,
Right.
and I'm not going to push it back. So I'm going to learn, what questions do I need to ask? First of all, let me go back and explore my last relationships. And the common denominator is probably me, if I've been in several relationships and they have not come out to be what I needed them to be.
Right.
So I need to figure out what's going on with Lanae.
Right.
Now, let's just say Lanae has done the work. She's whole. She's gone to therapy. She has a coach. All of this is going on. She's in the Lord. She's praying. She's fasting. She's, in the house serving. Now I should know what questions to ask, because somewhere, it's too many resources out here. I've learned what questions to ask. And more than that, I know that I want somebody that is, has the same morals and values that I do.
Right.
But I'm going to ask a lot of questions. And I'm not going to ask, hold on. I'm not going to ask the questions that are, that go really deep on the first date, right? I'm not going to ask you about child molestation, but I am going to ask. I'm going to ask you, hey, what's your relationship with your mom? What's your relationship with your dad? I'm going to ask some deeper questions versus that surface stuff. Hey, where do you see yourself 5 years? What does it look like when you get angry? I'm going to ask
do
those
you
questions.
really want to be married, or do you want to have kids?
What is your level of commitment with being with one woman? Are you really able to do that?
If you have a child from someone else, what is your relationship with the child's mother and or father?
All these questions
So we
need
have
to
a
be
resource.
asked. We do. Talk about it.
No, you in the zone.
So we have a journal.
Yeah.
And that journal that we have was birthed from what happened to me. And there were questions that we saw that people don't really ask. You know, the family dynamic, you know, how you grew up. What are some of the other things? I forgot.
So we talked about it's
A
really
lot.
three sections. The first section of the journal, and it's a prompting journal. And this is to help individuals, couples, singles, really kind of, because sometimes you don't think about some of these things when you're in it. So the first section is about childhood trauma and family dynamics. So the questions are centered around what you just said. How'd you grow up? You know, how did you see conflict? What was your family dynamic like? Did you grow up in a single family household? Was it just your mother? Was it just your father? Do you have siblings? You know, what was a family dynamic like in your childhood like? And then once you go through those prompting journals, there's some activities included in that. It gets into the next section, which is about, now let's talk about your previous relationships. What did those previous relationships look like? Are you healed from those? Have you gotten past hurts and pain? So what was your family previous relationships like at the time? And then lastly, we get into, okay, well, what's going on in our relationship?
Right.
And so we take you through a prompting journal exercise where you can work through your just some questions.
Yeah.
And it really helps people to navigate some of these difficult conversations in a non-threatening way. It's all about, how do you create a safe space?
Right. And I think that is the one thing, the objective of what the journal does, for people that have no clue what to even say to people
Or where to
before
start.
dating. Yes. Or when you sit down, not just the surface, but, and you don't want, I'm not, listen, I'm not saying on your first date that you need to ask, you know, those deep, deep questions. But ladies and gentlemen, at some point there needs to be questions that you ask that person so that you know, is this person even ready? Because there's a few questions you can ask and you can know if a person is ready to date or not. You know if they're going to be committed. Tell me about your last relationship. How long was it? How many relationships have you been in? It's just some things that, and these, to me, these are basic questions.
Yeah.
But I asked you, because here's the thing. When we had balcony talk, which is why this podcast was even birthed, I asked a lot of questions.
She did.
And those questions allowed me to be able to gather all of that information and be like, okay, well, you're pretty solid. And I was right, because I asked 101 questions.
It's probably 1,001
Probably.
questions.
Probably.
But we created that safe space where we could actually talk. And sometimes that safe space is not created because people are still dealing in their pain, still dealing in their trauma. And so they're wanting someone else to come in and take that pain and take that trauma away. And so when you think about, why are people afraid to ask the question? Why do you think people are afraid to really seek after the answer?
You know, I want to take this. I'm going to take it from this aspect. I think that I know that I'm wounded in an area. I'm not going to ask you questions that may arise that you can come back and ask me that question. So I don't. We're gonna sweep that over here.
Okay.
This is
Because I don't want to be exposed. So I'm not going to
so I'm
expose
not going to
you. So we're not
expose
going
you.
to talk about that.
No.
Okay.
And so this is what we have when we have unhealed people that are wanting to date. This is why it's dangerous. And now here are the side effects. We didn't talk about that. You don't talk about money. How do you handle money? What's your credit score like? Okay. Like, have you had any diseases or do you have anything right now that you can possibly give to me? We're not talking about those things because they're like, oh, I don't want to be intrusive. No, I'm going to be intrusive because this is my life on the line right here.
Yeah.
So if we can just pause right there for a second, babe. Questions people should actually be asking before they get serious, guys. Just something to think about. What does healing look like for you? This is what you need to be asking the other party. What have you learned from your past relationship? How do you handle conflict? What does commitment really mean to you? Are you dating with the intention of marriage? Now, let's pause right there. That's a big one because if I want to be married and you don't want to be married, but I need relief and I need comfort, I need to be in a relationship. I need to be in a relationship because, all my other cousins and friends, they're booed up. So I need to. Even though I want to be married, but somewhere in my mind, lower level thinking, well, I can change his mind.
Yeah.
You already told me you don't want to be married. If that's a deal breaker, why am I pressing in? And this is what we do. We press in and lean in because what if I don't try? No, he told you he doesn't want to be married. Why can't we believe people when they tell us the truth? Now, that was the truth. And then after I've wasted 7 to 10 years, I'm like, now I feel defeated. Now I feel like, but no, James told Lanae in the beginning of this, and he hasn't changed his mind. So what is it about you that makes you think that you can change his mind?
Right. And part of it might be rooted in just rejection. So this goes back to understanding childhood trauma, family dynamics. What was your mom's relationships like? What about all your aunts? If you got a whole family full of aunts and none of them have a man,
So,
you might want to think about that.
It's a lot of red flags right there. It's a lot of questions we have.
Listen, if you go over and you're dating someone and you go over and none of the women in the family have husbands, then you might want to ask some questions.
You might want to ask some questions.
I mean, something is in that DNA that you might want to unpack or really uncover. And so I think oftentimes people are afraid of rejection.
Yeah.
They're so afraid to be rejected or to be shamed because maybe I want to, listen, I'm holding on because I'm the only one in the family that has somebody.
Yeah.
So he's already told me he don't want to be with me. Now I'm starting to look like my aunt, my mom, and everybody else in my family. And I don't want to show up at Thanksgiving without anybody.
Yeah.
So I hold on.
And
thinking that one
everything
day
that's gone on.
He or she may change. And it's the reverse too. Bro, she don't really want you like that.
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
She showed you.
She
doesn't respect you.
She doesn't respect you.
She talks crazy to you. Not just by yourself, but in front of people.
In front of people. And that account is getting pressed. And the part of it is like, when you think about social media, though, how do you think social media has impacted the dating game today?
It's a pool of fantasy land. And I think what happens is that...
What was that show, Fantasy Island?
Fantasy Island.
Was it little dude, the plane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but him.
The little short cat.
Uh-huh. I know who you're talking about. I'm in your age range.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
So, what'd you ask me?
talking about social media and how it's affected
That's what you asked
dating.
me. You start
today.
talking about Fantasy Island.
You said fantasy.
Yeah, but I did. I said, but because
It's fantasy land is what you said.
so social media is a pool of fantasy, and people show you what they want you to see. And if I'm showing you all the good things, and if you're just scrolling down, up, left, right, and that's all you see is good, and your life is messed up. It's like, well, I want to look like that. I want to have that relationship. I want to go here. I want to go there. I want them to treat me like this. Okay, I want to have a butt like that. I want breasts like that. It just, it's real messy because if we're not together mentally, what we're looking at is not the truth, and we'll say it is the truth, and we want to pull that experience into us, and that's not the experience you want because it's not even the truth.
Yeah, we're talking about healing while dating, and then what people don't say. And as you were talking, particularly on Instagram, just social media, period, it's likened to when you see those makeup artists
Yeah.
and they show them all made up.
So you mean when the makeup artist is making somebody else up and the person?
No, they're making themselves up.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Okay.
either or.
Okay.
And they got all the contouring and just the layer cake.
And they look like
up,
a different person.
and they look like.
And when they take the makeup off,
ooh, I would be so upset.
Listen, so it's false advertisement.
Yes.
And so this is what we do when we're dating. Then
I would go drop them back off at Whole Foods and put them back in a package and send them back.
Return to sender.
Return to sender, because social media will make you believe that this is a lifestyle that everybody is living, and it's just not the truth.
Not the truth.
And people won't say that. See, this is what I'm saying. Dating, what people don't say while dating, because most of the individuals out here are trying to be healed, and they're trying to pretend like they are healed, and they're not.
And they're not.
If they're not on here being vulnerable and transparent and talking about the dark side of dating, and I'm not saying just dark, but just the reality of it, then they're not giving you the truth. And you're driving around, flying around, you're in Miami, you're in LA, you're renting Bentleys, and you're living and projecting this lifestyle that you can't keep up. And I say this all the time. Men, don't start with trying to buy your way into happiness or a relationship.
Yeah, don't do it.
Because some of y'all are balling. I guess you can afford it. But I'm telling you, it's not genuine, it's not authentic, it's not real.
No.
And people are just showing you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
That's why we would recommend you should be in a process of healing. Because one of the questions was, should you wait until you're healed to start dating? Well, healing is a continuous process.
Yeah.
It's a continuous journey. You never get to a point to where you're 100%, because we're living this thing called life and things happen. But if you are in the process of being healed and maintaining that, and you're honest and open and you're transparent and you're vulnerable with the people that you're dealing with, then I think you set yourself up for the possibility of a successful relationship or dating life. But it starts with honesty. That's why we call this the Love and Truth Podcast, because it is about being honest and truthful about where you are, who you are, and presenting your authentic self to people. So
yeah,
that was really it. I mean, I don't have anything else to say about it. Why don't you close this up?
I want to give a few more questions people should ask before things get serious, because I think that these questions are really important, because some of you are, you are like, why is it, because I'm a good woman, I'm a good man, why can't I find the right person? I think that the next relationship you get into, make sure that you're at least 80% healed of some of those things that you've gone through in your previous relationships. But here are a couple, and then we're going to wrap it up. Are you emotionally available right now, not in theory? What are your boundaries with the opposite sex? What does faith look like in your daily life? How do you handle disappointment? And last, what are you still actively working on within yourself? I would say we have to talk to people about things we're saying here and not out loud. That's where those hidden motives and patterns lie. So that's it. And I think that I think we help somebody, even if we help one person.
That's it.
Yeah.
But listen, thank you guys for tuning in to the Love and Truth podcast. Look forward to seeing you the next time. Remember, you can get that Love and Truth journal. Use that as a tool and resource. And until next time,
Peace.
peace.